It's a Saturday night in Nunawading. It's the best two teams all year. It's Bulleen and Wyndham. Wyndham and Bulleen, doesn't matter which way you cut it. 1-on-2 in this BigV State Championship women's season. Hello, welcome along. It's Jack Thornton alongside me, Mitch Child, here from Nunawading. And Mitch, it's unquestionable, but these two sides have been the best two all year. Wyndham have been dominant, 21-0, chasing perfection tonight. Bulleen have been 18-3 over the course of the year and only dropped their 3 games to Wyndham.
That's right.
Where do you see the game won and lost tonight?
Geez, I mean, when you're looking at the big games, you're looking at your big players. And we talk about Pascal and obviously Olivia Bontempelli for Bulleen. I think that's the key matchup. Both sides are going to need, a big game from their star players, but then obviously there's going to be contributions from across the board and, look for the benches to go deep as well. Both teams have multiple players which can go for 10 to 15 points at any given time. So whoever, I think alongside that, it's a bit of a cliche really, but you need it, it's going to go deep and look, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a great game. You
mentioned Pascal and Bontempelli, the two, number one options off these two sides. Pascal, who's been number 2 in the league for scoring, number 3 in the league for rebounds, number 1 in the league for assists, a true triple threat on the offensive end.
Absolutely.
And in the number 1 powered offense in the course of the league. But you look at Bontempelli and Bulleen and the number 1 defense only giving up 62 points a game over the course of the year. What edge do you see each team? What's the key to the game for each?
Yeah, well, I think Wyndham's strength is the pace and the energy that they make other teams play. We've seen them blow teams out, 20 or 30 points in a quarter after the pressure is built up in the first half of the game. So I think, that's a big factor for Wyndham is the pace and the pressure they're going to put on Bulleen. And I think for Bulleen, it's not only stopping the Amanda Pascal on the scoring end, but in transition. I think the defense from them, they've been a great defensive team all year. So, and you've seen the games that Wyndham have played against Bulleen. They've been their lower scoring games all year. Wyndham often pushing close to 100 points a game. If we look at what Wyndham scored against Bulleen, they haven't gone more than 81. So I think Bulleen is going to be a big defensive game. Look for Caitlin Van Ness on the boards as well. She's been a real force in a few of the games. And then Bontempelli and, it's so many great players from both teams, really. Who do you like who have you seen and liked so far throughout the season?
I think it's hard to go past the young core that Bulleen have got. We saw a couple of weeks ago they were able to go out in their youth league, were able to salute in the Youth League 1 women over the course of the year. Yep. You have to look at that young core that they've got. Daniela Kujovic, whilst hasn't probably had the influence on the scoreboard at the champ level, she's been able to go out and get that job done. She's had a taste of it. But of course, how can you go past Wyndham in general? They're coming off the back of winning the champ women last year. They won it in 19, so in a strange, disjointed way, they're looking for a three-peat and perfection tonight.
A forgotten three-peat.
A forgotten three-peat after their 19 title. To have a look at the starters for both sides tonight. For Wyndham, the reigning champs coming in to defend, it'll be Dolney who'll start with Amanda Pascal, who we mentioned before. Lauren Jones will be out there with Sarah Bennett and Tennille Knight. And for Bulleen, it'll be Amy Baum out there with Annabelle Dearborn. It'll be Maxine Allen, Olivia Bontempelli, the captain, and Caitlin Van Ness to round out their starting 5. About 15 seconds away from the tip here at Nunawading. We're so glad you're here with us, wherever you might be tuned in from. It's a big night, BigV finals. State champ women. Let's see who can come away with this one tonight. A big game for both sides. As we mentioned, Wyndham looking for their 3rd on the trot. Bulleen looking for their 1st this millennium. 1999 you have to go back to find their last senior women's title.
And the crowd starting to fill up very nicely as well.
Bumper crowd, and it was the hottest ticket in town to be at Nunawading tonight. Forget about Hawthorn and Freo at the G. We'd much rather be out here watching some great, the pinnacle of this league. We'll get it on now. And it'll be Wyndham that control the tip through Jones. And an early turnover pass as we look to shake out those early nerves.
That's right. Just, Lauren Jones looking for Holly there. Holly thinking the back pick for AP was on and quick turnover. Just what Bulleen would have wanted.
Bontempelli a 3. Connects.
Watch out for her. She gets going early. Bontempelli.
Manages connects on her first. She shot at a 39.7% field goal percentage from 3 over the course of this season. As inside as Knight couldn't get it to go, and Bulleen will control the rebound. Here they go now with Baum. To the outside, the drive is Maxine Allen. Tried to go inside to Van Ez, but it'll come off a hand. It'll stay on the baseline.
It was almost similar to the Jones and Dolney, apart from the fingertip there, but I think Van Ez thinking it was going one way and it went the other way.
And a couple of early misjudgments, I suppose you could say, early. Bontempelli inside again, connects.
Got the hot hand. Bontempelli, 31 points last week in game 2 against Sherbrooke.
Inside is Pascal, gets the little left-hand lay to go.
Can't leave the lane that open for AP. Gets that left hand too easily. Jones has been smacked in the face.
A lot of contact through traffic there. The ball turned over. Here's Bontempelli inside again. Couldn't get it to go.
That's the chaos Wyndham want on the defensive end. Lots of rotations.
Knight takes it away. Looking inside now, downhill. That's Bennett, tried to get it inside. A lot of hands. And eventually turns up in the Bulleen hand, and they'll generate a second turnover of the night. Dearborn working now off the top against Pascal. Here's Baum. Kick out past Dearborn again. A lot of hand pressure there from Jones. Inside Dearborn, gets a little floater. Extends the lead back out to 5. 2 minutes gone here in the first. Glad you're here with us. BigV State Champ Women Finals. Here's Pascal, the MVP candidate. Looking to work on her left. Kick out pass. Here's Jones, corner 3. Can't get it to go, and Dearborn will take it away.
Locked up at that time. The Boomers, once they get their defense set, they're going to look a lot better. I think Wyndham's going to want to run that transition game.
Inside pass from Bontempelli for Van Ez was off target, and Jones will take it away, but a lot of backcourt pressure now from Maxine Allen, trying to get involved on the defensive side of things after that almost turnover before. Here's Jones, working on the right. Inside pass off target again, Dolney, clock running down. Here's Jones, a 3. Can't get it to go, and Dearborn collects another rebound.
Good looks for Jones. She'll be happy with the look she's getting. She's going to keep putting those up.
Here's Bontempelli's short corner jump shot. Can't get it to go. Dearborn collects her 5th rebound of the night.
Jeez, racking them up very early.
Van Ez tried to get the little put back inside, but was fouled on the play. And she'll go to the line for a pair. Foul will get called on Tennille Knight, and that'll be her first of the game, as Wyndham look to make a change through the bench already. Jones will take a seat, and it'll be Alex Connolly for her first minutes of the game.
Sorry there, Jack. Boomer's looking to go inside a lot early, attacking that paint. When you've got players like Bontempelli and Van Es in there on the rebounds too. 2 great rebounders. Going to put the pressure on Wyndham.
Van Ez gets her first, a 51% free throw shooter on the season. She'll try and make it out to a 7-point lead for the Boomers. Wyndham being asked some big questions early here in this decider.
Seen this a few times throughout the season where Wyndham have been, I mean, to say a slow start's probably a bit rough, but they haven't. There's not a lot of times they've blown a team out in the first quarter and opened up a 15-point lead off the tip. So they're probably pretty comfortable and pretty used to being in a position like this, and they trust their systems and they know what the looks they want to get. They're going to keep running until they get them.
Pascal connects, a 77% shooter on the season from the line. And you have to wonder as well, I mean, an early shaky start, I suppose you'd say, for Wyndham. You'd have to wonder what sort of effect playing on a neutral venue. Obviously, both teams away from home, but a significantly further distance to travel.
That's right.
For the 1 seed. But you can only play what's out there, I suppose. And you know, dealing with playing away from home is something they've dealt with all season. Whilst they've got a great home court advantage, it's obviously difficult, and they've been able to go out and win all their games on the road through the season.
Yeah, just good defense from Alex Connolly there, defending 2 players out on the 3-point line and creating the miss.
Pascal working with a ball screen from the top.
Loves the mid-range.
Little foul line jump shot was short, and Dearborn just gobbling them up tonight.
Yeah, on the boards.
That's her 6th rebound of the game so far. Van Ez inside, couldn't get the 2 to go, but gets her own rebound. Couldn't get that one to go either, and
Good boards by Sarah Bennett.
Bennett collects it and takes it away. Kick out pass. Here's Dolney. Corner three. Ring it up, all three.
Yeah, love a corner three, the Dolney family. Brother Aaron plays in the champ man's, always get a shout out. And we got the first steal of the night for Wyndham.
Wyndham generating a lot of steals over the course of the season. Here's Dolney again from that right side. Couldn't get it to go, but they'll collect. And here goes the three from Connolly, which doesn't quite get there, but Bontempelli will collect it and they'll take it away, Bulleen.
Yeah, watch out for Holly in the corner. That's a fantastic look for her.
Backdoor cut, Dib on left-hand layup. Couldn't go, but Bontempelli inside. Been big for Bulleen so far tonight. It'll come off a Wyndham hand and it'll trickle out of bounds. Both teams looking to make a change now. Romas will come in for her first minutes of the night as Maxine Allen takes a seat.
And Jamie Lee Pearce and Lauren Jones in for Wyndham. I think it was Sarah Bennett and Tennille Knight off for Wyndham.
Bit of a zone look now for Wyndham off that baseline inbound.
Looking to close up on the inside a little bit.
Low shot clock situation now. They'll look inside for Van Ez again, but another one that just floats over the head and out of bounds.
That's the defensive pressure Wyndham are going to put on.
Another turnover for Bulleen there. That's their third on the night. And Wyndham will take over once again. A tick under 5:30 left here in the first quarter of action. A three-point attempt there from
Jones.
Lauren Jones was just long.
Getting good looks, just not finding the bottom of the net for Lauren.
A lot of pressure from this Wyndham defense, starting to amp itself up. They're generating a little bit more on the offensive end as Dib on her elbow jump shot couldn't go. And Bulleen will also try and extend the pressure just a touch up the floor now. Here goes Connolly. She'll work through Pearce at the top. Connolly tried the little scoop layup, couldn't get it to go, and Van Ez will collect off the little deflection from Amy Baum.
Good scattering report there from Bulleen, who have obviously
a lot of pressure in the backcourt.
Who have seen the scattering report on Jamie Lee Pearce.
Here's a three from Connolly, connects, and Wyndham take their first lead of the night.
Don't let Jamie Lee Pearce play in the 5 fool you. Leave her open top of the key. That three-point is going up. A lot of the time it's going in.
Bontempelli spinning through traffic. Oh, tough finish. Gets a little layup through traffic to go.
Tough family, that Bontempelli household.
Something about Bontempelli's and captaincy. Bontempelli with her 9th of the night. Pascal through traffic.
Smart.
It'll just go long, but drew the foul.
What was the percentage play there? Was it, how much was she actually looking for the shot versus drawing the foul on Caitlin Van Ez? That was
Van Ez that picked up her first of the night, and just that craftiness that you see from Pascal coming down the lane and able to finish with a great variety of packages through traffic, but obviously managed to draw the foul on that occasion and connects on her first.
Yeah, the free throw percentage from Pascal has been climbing throughout the season. I think sort of around the halfway mark, it was maybe below 70. So, you know, so she's got that up above 78% now. I'd like to see if you could break that down of what it's been in the second half of the season. She'd be, for the second half of the season, she'd have to be close to 90.
It's an interesting factor, you know, the cream often rising to the top in these competitions. It's a long season, you know, 21 games over the course of the winter. You know, you often find that when the going gets tough, the tough get going, and it's no exception there as Bontempelli makes another and gets her 11th of the night. Beg your pardon, that's her 9th of the night.
Yeah, I think she was clutching those free throws. I mentioned earlier that Bontempelli had 19 of her 31 points in the fourth quarter and overtime in the win against Sherbrooke last week. And a lot of those were free throws. I don't think she missed one down the stretch.
Romas now working.
Jones hustling hard up top.
Bontempelli got a bit of contact through there, but loses the ball, and it'll come up Pascal's way. On the charge now, 3-on-2, but Bulleen do a great job of getting back, and a lot of contact on the body there from Romas. Will send Pascal to the line for the third time tonight.
Good scout from the Boomers there. Don't let Pascal get to the left hand. She's a great player either way she goes, but going left is definitely the strength. So obviously just closing that left hand off.
It's an added dimension to the game that you have a lefty that's so dominant in the team, and you know you're able to let her go out and do her thing over the course of the night, and connects on her first from the line there again. She's up to 7. shooting at 100% from the line and connects and makes it her 8th of the night. Lead seesawing now. Dolney gets a hand in and deflects it out of bounds, and this is that full court pressure you talked about, Mitch. How Wyndham like to extend the pressure, get up the floor and try and generate some turnovers. Bulleen will make a sub here. Ali Keating will come in for her first minutes. And Annabelle Dearborn will take her first seat. A lot of experience in this Bulleen lineup from younger players. Keating, one of those. Been a feature of this championship level since 2019, her debut. That one just goes sailing out of bounds. The field goal was good on that pass.
She was looking for Chris Blitzarves on the side of the court just there behind Alex Connolly there. Obviously, the brother of Sarah Blitzarves played WNBL and for the Boomers.
Working now is Pascal on her left. Receives the screen from Pierce, who's inside.
Yeah.
Little layup on the right, didn't go, but gets her own miss, puts it in.
They came out hot at the start of the season, Wyndham, as a three-point shooting team that shoot a lot of threes. Throughout the season, as it's gone on, Jamie Lee Pierce and Sarah Bennett's game inside has been an absolute weapon, which is, if you're a three-point shooting team, have that complementing interior game is massive. We saw Pierce there with 2 rebounds and end up getting the 2 points as well.
You mentioned that three-point shooting of Wyndham. They fell off a little bit over the course of the year, as you mentioned. They went down to 4th ranked overall shooting as a team, roughly 27% on the course of the season, compared to Bulleen, who are well known for being quite a strong three-point shooting team, leading the league in that clip around the 32%. So not much difference separating, the top and the bottom of the league in terms of, well, not the 4th is the bottom of the league by any stretch of the imagination, but in terms of the shooting percentages, Bontempelli takes a seat for Bulleen, and as does Lauren Jones for Wyndham.
Yeah, Tennille Knight back in and Mackenzie Drew in as well. Yeah, just touching on the three-point, I don't think the percentage is too much. If you had a look at the three-point makes, I don't know, we wouldn't have that as a stat, but that's the number Wyndham look at. It would be three-point makes, and I'm just going off the top of my head here, but I reckon they'd be pretty high up there based on the pure number of shots they put up. Like we'd see Pascal and Arniev and Jones and Dolney put up 10 or 15 triples in a game some games.
That's right.
Obviously, Ananiev, we spoke about earlier, off to college halfway through the season. So, but that was something that Wyndham knew and prepared for, and were able to transition. And obviously, they didn't drop a game throughout the whole season, so we're able to adjust, accordingly.
And it's tough when you look at Ananiev, 4th overall in points and 8th in rebounds, and another great piece that's part of that team. A nomination for the All-Star 5. The plaudits just roll on and on when you speak about her, and
she's overseas.
over, and it's a great chunk to lose. And obviously, Wyndham's loss is Bulleen's gain in a context like tonight is a great defensive effort there. As it looks like that was Amy Baum that set that one back and managed to come away with possession there too, Bulleen. So obviously off a foot right at the end of that play.
So that's number 0, Zoe Zwirling in for Wyndham.
Maltesos also for the first time tonight. Keating, a 3. Way long on that one. And a big, strong rebound in there. Was Zwirling, like you just mentioned, fresh into the game and
tough.
Able to collect a rebound and pick up the foul on.
Zoe Zwirling, tough player. Good handles.
Good shooter as well. First foul on Romas in that as well. And she'll take a seat with Maxine Allen coming back into the game for the Boomers.
It's a tough team on the floor here. We got 5. I mean, there's really not a three-point shot. Mackenzie Drew can knock them down. Pierce up top. So if Wyndham are looking inside or outside, there's plenty of good looks.
Here is Mackenzie Drew, as you mentioned, right away. The commentator's curse as she knocks it down from the right corner.
I am a Wyndham man, Jack. So I don't know about saying the word curse, but that did me a favour there, Mackenzie.
Baum, Allen,
good ball
Maltesos, great ball movement from the Boomers. And over the front, little floater off the glass, gets it to go. A 4-point lead now for Wyndham as we are in the dying embers of this first quarter. A long three-pointer there. That was Pierce on the straightaway 3. Couldn't get it to go.
That's the spot she wants him from.
Kick-out pass, looking inside now. Here's Kujovic. We mentioned at the start of the game her pedigree from that Youth League 1 title that Bulleen won a couple of weeks back, and she'll get fouled and go to the line for her first attempt on the night.
Not too much Jamie Lee Pearce did wrong there. Maybe just didn't have the... When you see that front arm bar sometimes holding the spot, that's often the one they look at for that foul. You've got to get both arms up. You would know that.
That is correct. It's, can't get caught with the hands in the cookie jar.
That's right.
Kujovic can't get her first. 54% on the champ women's season.
So just down to the final minute now in this first quarter. It's racing away.
Makes her second. Interesting tidbit about Kujovic. I've just had a look back through the stats over the course of the season for that youth one we mentioned a couple of times. Actually shoots the ball at a better clip in the champ women game.
Needs the pressure.
It's an interesting one, isn't it? Here's Pascal, kick out pass. Mackenzie Drew again, way long on that one.
Way long.
And it's a bit of tunnel ball in there from Kujovic. Just couldn't get it, but Keating will end up with the ball, and Bulleen will try and push a 3-on-3 break.
I think Jamie Lee Pearce is ready for that pass. Might hit her in the face, I think.
Early Falcon, just get the nerves out. Maltezos, little right-hand floater again.
That's a great shot.
Almost a carbon copy of the first basket that she made to open her account earlier tonight. Lead back to 1 now. As Pascal goes inside, gets that to go.
So crafty.
10 seconds left here for Bulleen. You probably think they try and push. Wyndham try and generate a turnover in the backcourt. Maltezos, his bomb, long three. Tried to go glass, couldn't get it to go. And at the end of 1, it'll be Wyndham leading Bulleen 21-18. It's been a great first quarter of action here. We're glad you're here with us. State Championship Women Grand Final. It's been a hot start. Mitch Child, where's your thoughts on that first quarter?
Really a quarter of 2 halves, really. I think really impressed by Annabelle Dearborn, 7 rebounds in the first quarter. Absolutely, Bulleen on the rebounds have been fantastic on both ends of the floor. Keeping Amanda Pascal off the boards is a big factor. Averaging, I've lost my stat sheet, but she'll be averaging 11 or so rebounds a game. There we go. So keeping her just to, 2 rebounds in the first quarter, and keeping Pearce and Sarah Bennett off the boards as well. So no one's really been able to get going for Wyndham on the rebounding side of things. So Bulleen have been strong there, but the shooting of Wyndham, the 3-point shots they're going to put up, the speed at which that pulls the leads back and extends leads, it's really damaging.
You mentioned that rebounding count and the job that Bulleen have done on the Wyndham rebounders. You look over the course of the year, and Pascal 11 rebounds a game, and then you're going down to Tennille Knight in terms of the players that are here today. In terms of rebounding differential over the course of the year, they were plus 10, just over 10 rebounds a game. They were leading their team, the opposition. I beg your pardon. They're down 8 already.
Yep.
If you're Jared Hillier, what's your conversation around in this huddle right now? If you're Wyndham, you've got a 3-point lead. It's slender. Yep. What's your conversation about down there right now?
Oh, look, if I know Jared Hillier, it's box out, run, shoot. They got their systems. I don't think they're going to be too afraid by being up or down 3 points at quarter time, because they've been pretty much in this situation at every time they've played. I think round 16, it was a 6-point lead to Wyndham in the first quarter. Other than that, it was tied and they were down 2. So they know Bulleen starts strong, but they're going to trust their systems, running, shooting, get that. Once that Amanda Pascal transition game gets going, that'll be the real telling factor, if it gets going, I should say.
And if you're Mason Rogers and Bulleen, what's the conversation down there around, you started off so hot, I think the lead got out to maybe 6 or 7 at one point in time. What's your conversation around there in terms of how you steady the ship from there on?
I think they know the pressure's coming. They know that transition defense is coming. They know the double teams are coming. It's keeping the fundamentals solid. Using your teammates, keeping the ball safe and getting quality looks.
Underway here in the second quarter as Kujovic goes inside off Keating's feet, finds the bottom of the net.
Quality look, that's what they wanted.
And it was a great little action. Ball went from side to side. They were able to rotate the ball around as Wyndham take over now.
Sarah Bennett on the floor.
Bennett tried to go through traffic and Kujovic came up with a block. It's Bulleen's 3rd on the night.
Good rotation from Bulleen there.
And they've certainly found that little answer that you said they'd be looking for as the feed inside again to Kujovic. Starting to get involved now, the young taliswoman, I suppose you'd say. It's not really a talisman, is it?
Kujovic there, looking inside. I mean, her and we saw Van Ness earlier inside being a real threat, dragging a lot of attention, which has obviously been creating space for Bontempelli and Dearborn, which they've been using really well as well.
Kujovic gets her first to knot it up at 21. He connects on the second. We mentioned it was quite a testy start earlier, the teams feeling each other out. And who do you think's come out the better of that after that sort of nervy first 5 minutes or so? Obviously, Bulleen got out to that start, but Wyndham again showing a bit of a shade of that as that was Sarah Bennett's pass that went sailing out of bounds.
Bulleen have looked great. I think the Bulleen have been up to the task so far. Like, you haven't seen them get trapped. Wyndham won that half-court trap really well. We've seen that many times throughout the season. They've managed to avoid that and causing a lot of sort of almost, you just call them silly turnovers from Wyndham passes like that, just ending up out of bounds.
And these are the two best teams in terms of turnovers over the course of the year. The two lowest, both just a shade under 16 a game. If you're a coach, I think you're quite like, wow, tough shot. That was Annabelle Dearborn that made the long three, just a bit of the heave over the right shoulder.
That's not a very high ceiling. It wasn't far off it.
Those old low ceilings that no doubt would tell a few tales around here at Nunawading. Pascal, the elbow jump shot couldn't go. And a big rebound there from Sarah Bennett. But a tied ball, great defensive pressure there from Bulleen. We were talking a moment ago just there about the turnovers for each team over the course of the season. They both did a great job, both 16 a game. If you're a coach, you're sort of targeting that 4 a quarter as your absolute ceiling, and both of these clubs right on that number. You look tonight, Bulleen with 6 so far through 12 minutes of action, and Wyndham right on that 4 number for that first quarter as Pascal falling away to her left from the short corner gets it to go.
Yeah, you see Wyndham, this is what they do a lot. Get the ball out of the main ball handler's hands and create a little bit of that chaos.
Corner 3, Kujovic was a bit short, but Maxine Allen rips it out and gets that offensive rebound. That's tough. As Dearborn working in traffic, got a lot of contact and went to the floor, and that'll get called on the floor. The foul will get adjudged to Alex Connolly.
Just a hand on. I think she might have been already going down, and Alex happened to have a hand on to helping her down a little bit. So unlucky from Alex there.
It's always a tough one, penetration through traffic and, trying to stay in front, but also trying to get back in front if you get beaten like that. Bontempelli's going to pick up this one here for the reach in down there on that sideline.
Pascal was in trouble there. There was 2 or 3 players working on her.
It's the kind of thing, though, when you find such a dominant player in this league in particular, you kind of have to find a way to double and triple and throw different coverages. And more often than not, it leaves someone else open. But
make someone else beat you, is like co-commentator Jules always says, make someone else get it done. We know Pascal's going to do it, but you've got to make someone else get 20 if you're Bulleen.
Here is Pascal dishing inside. Here's Pierce. Little right-hand layup, and right as you called for,
that pick and roll.
Jamie Lee Pierce getting involved.
The Pierce-Pascal pick and roll. Seen it a few times throughout the year. It is a thing of beauty. I love a good pick and roll, and that's about as good as they come.
Corner 3.
That's a nice
Connecting
shot.
on that one was Maxine Allen. And Dolney now trying to push a bit of pace. Here's Pascal now.
There's no time to look down, is there, when Wyndham are in transition?
It's kind of a trademark of those hillier teams. We saw it years ago with Southern Penn, and now obviously with Wyndham for the last few years, and it's been a bit of a signature of their style of play over the last, especially since the COVID shutdown. It's definitely been a signature of them over the last 2 years that they've been pushing and trying to get the defensive stops and push in transition and get out in the open floor. Pierce will pick up her second, and that foul.
And they back themselves to outrun teams. So there was a game, I think, not long ago with it was Hume at home, and Hume were up in the first quarter. They were leading at quarter time, and then there was a 20-point. They were down 20 at halftime.
Dearborn right corner 3 was no good, Van Ness inside, uncontested, gets the offensive rebound and put back. 4 rebounds for her so far tonight, and really creating a bit of presence inside for this Boomer outfit. Inside now's Knight. Tried to get the little left-hand scoop layup to go, couldn't get it, and Bulleen will try and run it back down their throats.
Van Ness, good on defense there.
Bontempelli, left wing 3, can't connect. almost picked up another in transition there too, but Dolney was just classy enough to dodge that contact and keep playing. Dolney will work, and the ball will end up with Alex Connolly, who tries a little right-hand floater and gets it to go.
She realised it was Van Ness in front of her, and it's pretty hard to go around Caitlin, so little floater over the top's a great option.
Got to get that over the top of the skyscraper inside, you know. A lot of timber in that paint there for Bulleen as Pascal runs the break on the left hand now. Gets it to go, a little bit of contact, but plays through it and connects.
Too easy for Pascal. I think she was expecting more contact.
Bulleen making that adjustment clearly that we discussed in that first period. A lot of contact. I think she went to the line 3 times over the course of that first quarter.
Knocked them all down too.
It makes it tough when you give the great players freebies, basically. Dearborn's 3 couldn't connect. Maxine Allen generates an offensive board and another chance here. Dearborn inside, Van Ness. Kick out Allen. The swing to Maltezos, step back 3. Bit short. And another great effort inside to try and come up with it was Annabelle Dearborn, but it'll bounce out of bounds, and it'll be a timeout for Bulleen as Wyndham look to make a change as well, but it'll be a timeout for the Boomers. 5:27 left here in the second quarter. Bulleen holding a slender 1-point advantage.
This was about the time in the first quarter, about the halfway mark, we saw the tides change. So we'll see if Jared Hillier and Wyndham are up to task again, and see if they can extend get a lead or extend a lead into halftime.
Rogers obviously recognising that and wanted to have a chat about it before it got out of hand. I mean, you're still holding that 1-point lead. It's a little bit less than that 6-point lead they held at a similar point in the first, but let's see what they're able to do here, what sort of answer they come out with, what sort of changes that Big G's able to throw out for Wyndham.
Yeah, just having a look through the stats there, looking at the Boomers have run deep. Bontempelli with 9, but solid contributions from everywhere. Kujovic, Maltezos, Van Ness, Dearborn, all contributing. Wyndham relying heavily on Pascal so far, yet to really get that second and third fiddle player really going. Holly Dolney knocked a triple down, looked like she was getting going, and Jamie Leah Pearce has been good inside, but yet to have that second player step up and give AP that assistance that she's going to need down the stretch.
And like we mentioned, a couple of changes now for Wyndham.
Rachel Kerr in.
Rachel Kerr for her first minutes on the night.
We're talking defensive pressure.
Pascal working, and Kerr sets a great screen there. Gets Connolly wide open but couldn't connect on it, and it'll deflect out of bounds off a Wyndham hand.
Rachel Kerr, hustler on defense.
Just has the look of a fast player. Like, she just, that real whippity running style, and just able to get in front, and she's really harassing Bomb there as she's bringing the ball up the floor too.
Good feet.
Right into the action, tries to reach and generate a little steal, and a little 2-3 zone look once again for Wyndham.
Van Ness would like that one again.
It's a coach killer, that one, the right hand on the left-hand side. It's under 10 stuff, that, but couldn't get it to go. Pearce, the straightaway 3 was long. A great rebound was Van Ness. Once again able to grab it. And a great outlet pass to generate the fast break as Baum went downhill, and Pearce picks up, wow, there's a couple of words in there somewhere. Pearce ends up picking up her 3rd. There we go. Second time's the charm.
Sarah Bennett checking in.
A lot of time left in this quarter, and Wyndham balancing precariously on the edge of the bonus. 4:41 left on the TikTok.
Not too. They go over the foul limit almost most quarters from Wyndham. They're just so happy to get hands in the lane and try and disrupt.
Bontempelli. No. And out of bounds, and it'll be Wyndham ball.
Yeah, Wyndham just try and disrupt stuff so much. They know fouls are a byproduct of that. So they're not too afraid to send teams to the line.
And I suppose that's the advantage of backing your system so heavily, being able to come up with it as Bontempelli dives on a loose ball. Haven't we heard that sentence a lot over the course of the year?
Yeah, good.
2 steals a game for Big Liv. The held ball went Bulleen's way, and harassing, like you mentioned, to watch out for with Rachel Kerr. Just chasing everywhere. Got about 3 different pressure acts on that one. Yeah. Send that one to champion data.
Absolutely everywhere.
Baum looks inside for Bontempelli, for Van Ez, and
dangerous.
Easy as you like.
When you get the 2 bigs in the paint, passing back and forth, that is trouble.
And an offensive foul now. That one will go on Sarah Bennett.
Just moving screen in transition there.
On Wyndham's Bennett.
As that's going to be the 5th. So free throws here on in for the Boomers. Lead still at 3.
You'd have to think they'll try and take advantage of that. They've been looking inside so significantly against this zone. And a big hold off the ball there. Bontempelli was trying to shake free, but it'll be a hold that'll go on. That looks like that'll go on Lauren Jones. And yeah, it will just be a common foul, just that hold away from the ball there. Bontempelli, though, will go to the line to try and add to her account.
15 foul.
Just the first trip to the line for Bontempelli. Was, yeah, like I said, massive at the free throw stripe against Sherbrooke in that 2-game series. Knocking a bunch down in the stretch in the closeout game.
Misses her first, though. Commentators curse again. Seen it too many times. Not least tonight. Makes her second, though.
That's right.
She was a 78% shooter on the year, but
78, yeah.
split the pair there for 1 or 2 and takes her account to 10. About 3.5 left in this second quarter.
Boomers have done a great job keeping Pascal pretty quiet this quarter.
And they'll turn it over again now, Bulleen. The great hand pressure on that big inside as Bennett turned it over. They'll look inside to feed to Bontempelli. Kick out pass, Romas. Right corner 3. Was short, but Van Ness was in there and collects the O board and the foul, and she'll go to the line for 2.
Wyndham just looking a little bit shaky. Like, even when they were down in the first quarter, they didn't seem to be too phased. Just the pressure just building a little bit. Probably would have liked to have found themselves up by this point of the game. They usually are, to be fair. They're going to have to work hard.
It's what you've got when the chips are down. You know, obviously the third quarter you'd probably argue is the premiership quarter, but
of course,
Van Ness misses her first.
There's been some great, I've seen a couple of great Wyndham games, you know, this year where they've come out in the third quarter and done exactly that, taken the game away.
Van Ness gets her second, takes her tally to 7.
I think last week against McKinnon was a good example of that. Pascal.
Here go this Wyndham offense. Dolney a deep 3, just long.
Has the range.
Van Ness collects again. That's her 8th board on the night to go with her 7 points. Baum looking inside. Bontempelli likes the mismatch in there.
Yeah,
good little fall away jumper. Couldn't get it. And they charged in there. Pascal, you'd expect to see her on the bottom of the pack, but it'll be a Wyndham ball.
Yeah.
Great hustle there from the...
I think she realised after the last jump ball call, she knows which way the arrow's going. So if she just dives on that, she's getting the jump ball call and it's going back Wyndham's way.
Great game awareness from the number 1 for, or the number 12, I beg your pardon. But also the number 1 for
number
Wyndham.
1 in our hearts. No, massive crowd favourite AP. Does a lot of work with a lot of the juniors, especially the junior girls. Yeah, does a ton of work. Gets love all over Werribee.
It's the kind of thing you really love to see is having someone that comes in and embraces, you know, your club and your community around the club, and you know you see that it's such a great asset that Wyndham's got down there. You know, it's the only BigV side that's in that sort of vicinity. So Pascal connects as we speak about her there, and you know, great asset to have, and you know, you love to see that from your import from your number 1.
Yeah, that's right.
Keating, kick out pass, Bontempelli, left wing 3, connects.
Bang.
And a timeout for Hillier and Wyndham as Bontempelli extends the lead back out to 6.
13 points now. Olivia Bontempelli to second triple. She's shooting 2 from 4 from beyond the arc.
We spoke at the start of the game, Mitch, about the 2 that you had to watch on either side of the ball. And, you know, you think of Bulleen and you think of Bontempelli in the same way you think of Pascal when you think of Wyndham.
Absolutely.
And it's great to see the big guns out firing so far. Just over 2 minutes left here in the second quarter of play.
Yeah, it's been a great first half from both teams, but especially from Bontempelli and Pascal. Bontempelli just getting a little bit more help off the bench and from other players. Probably Jared Hillier just looking to get the other girls involved to go along with Pascal.
Not a lot of help out there for Pascal at the moment.
Yeah.
Connolly, the next leading scorer with 5. You know, she's getting it done everywhere with Pascal leading the assists, the rebounds, and the points. So,
Yeah.
you know, you would have to think that Coach Hillier will be in the huddle, you know, imploring the girls to come with her, to go with her and try and lift as we head in. It's a massive 2 minutes here as we head into halftime.
So many weapons for Wyndham, though. So many players that can shoot the three ball and get out in transition and run. So they've got the tools they want to do it, and they've had the chance to get a lot of minutes throughout the season with what the work they've been able to do.
Connolly charged down and knocked over Bontempelli, and she'll pick up an offensive foul.
Yeah, with the work Wyndham have been able to do to get out in games, to be able to give their bench, sometimes half their bench is playing 20 minutes a game. So, you know, a lot of experience, which when you come to a final, that comes in really handy.
They'll come out of that zone now, Wyndham, and they'll extend back up the floor as Romas got a lot of pressure from Dolney, and it's that pressure that is such a staple as an offensive foul goes against Romas this time around.
Just a little bump, similar to the one before. I think Dolney might have been already going down, and there was just a tiny little nudge from Romas. Helped her on the way and picked up the foul.
Not lots in it, but enough for the ref to blow the P. Pascal, great crossover, finish on the right, yes sir.
A crossover.
And Rogers wants to talk about it.
That's N1 mixtape sort of crossover, dragging it from one side straight across to the left. I think it was Romas defending her, was it? Covered the left hand, that's the scouting report. But Pascal, too good, being able to get the righty to go off the glass.
Did everything, but you know, sometimes everything isn't enough in that situation when you've got such a, you know, such an important player that you're trying to guard. You know, you look at her scoreline so far, she's shooting 18 on a very high clip.
That's right, and you know, and talk about a player that really wants to get the job done and steps up in the big games. Game 2 of the finals last year, which was the closeout game for Wyndham against the Boomers. I've lost with that. Where's that sheet gone? AP was 27, 18 boards, 11 assists, 6 steals. So, you know, she might be heading towards a similar stat line if she's going to get Wyndham over the line here tonight. Already up to 18 points, and we've still got about 2 minutes in the first half. That's going along with 6 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals.
You have to think that her, I mean, there's no other word for it, is greatness so far in this first half. You know, you have to think that if she can just get 1 or 2 helpers to come with her on this, you know, you'd have to think that Wyndham are probably in the box seat, you know, even though they're down 4 and almost going into the half now.
Yeah, Wyndham just 3 of 14 from beyond the three-point line.
Here go Bulleen. They turn it over now. Baum tried to feed inside to Van Ness, and it trickled meekly out of bounds on that right sideline.
Yeah, well
a turnover
called.
again.
Well called it was. Coming down with pace and just couldn't pump the brakes enough to get the pass with a bit of touch.
Does feel like that might be the answer for this Wyndham pressure. Pascal looks about 3 different times at this triple from the right wing. Couldn't get it. Keating cleans up. A lot of pressure in the backcourt once again. Bontempelli, great box out and Shepherd. Van Ness inside. Yes, sir. Gets
Great
it to
transition
go.
work from the Boomers. That was almost a steal, and they've turned it into a wide-open layup.
It was great poise and presence from Keating. Had pressure from about 4 sets of hands down there and managed to find something out there. It was a little bit of a sneaky one from Bontempelli. Great finish inside. That's Alex Connolly.
Nice step through.
Nice little up and under.
Great footwork.
Here's that pressure once again. Wyndham looking to extend, try and press the ball and get the double team. Keating and Bontempelli now.
Spins baseline, very nice.
Bontempelli lost the footing. Trying to find anything, something, trying to find someone, and there's a lot of body and a lot of steps, and I can't see who that was that hit the floor down there. I think it was Holly Dolney, but a corner 3. No good. Great hand, Pascal to keep it alive under Bontempelli's reach. She'll work and shake and bake again, spinning onto the left and back to the right. Kick out past Dolney. Connects. That's a massive 3 in the context of the game as it cuts the lead to 1.
Trying hard not to cheer too much here, Jack, but when you see those open threes, trying to will them to go in, and Holly getting that one to go.
A deep 2 from Ali Keating in that left corner was way long and deflected out of bounds. 9 seconds on the clock, and Jared Hillier wants to have a chat. What can he get here? Down 1. Hopefully not I don't know that my heart could take it. Certainly if this was in 2 quarters time, but 1 point game with 9 seconds left and a timeout.
With how it's been going, Jack, I feel like we're going to get to that stage.
It's not out of the question.
I'm going to have to flip the heart rate monitor on the watch and just see how things go throughout the night. But just with how this first half has been, I would be very surprised if this is anything more than a couple of points at the end. We saw overtime last week. The Boomers coming up clutch in the end there. I don't think I could take an overtime game, to be honest.
I don't think anyone in the building can. There's a very big crowd in here tonight. Hardly a ticket available for this women's, and the men's sold out later on tonight.
Yeah, great game coming up in the men's. I'll definitely be sticking around. Managed to get in for free here tonight, so I'm pretty happy with that. Have to worry about trying to find a ticket. But yeah, McKinnon and Hume. McKinnon coming from 5th, beating Wyndham last week, top of the table in the men's. So fantastic story there. Obviously losing Nathan Davis along the way, unfortunately, with a knee injury.
Nate Davis, a massive loss for Wyndham. I beg your pardon for McKinnon. So I'll be very interested to see what they throw out there tonight. That's from 8 o'clock, so we'll hope you stick around and join us again for that one later on. But with 9 seconds left, here go Wyndham trying to get a late one. His Knight she ran down an alley and a turnover. 2-1 and a long 3 from little long and left, long and right, I beg your pardon, from Amy Borman. Bulleen will take a 1 point lead into the halftime break.
Smallest of margins.
Bulleen 39, leading Wyndham 38 here in the state champ women decider. We're glad you're here with us. It's Nunawading Stadium. We'll be back shortly for the second half of action. We'll see you shortly for the second half, and we'll be back soon. Welcome back to Nunawading, where Bulleen hold a slim 1-point lead over Wyndham at half-time of this BigV State Champ Women Final. Jack Thornton here alongside Mitch Child here with a half to play and a very, very tight margin. It's everything you want from a title decider. Wyndham, of course, chasing their perfect season, chasing their third title in a row. Bulleen trying to come in and spoil the party and do the youth and senior double over the course of the 23 season. Mitch, what are your takeaways from the first half?
It's been a tough first half for Wyndham. Obviously, we've seen them run out and get in front of teams a lot. But they've sort of found themselves in foul trouble. I guess a little bit. It's probably one of the things you've seen. 12 to 6. So a few of their players will sort of have to manage that throughout the game. It's been a tough grind for them. But they've often come out well after half time. So we're looking forward to seeing how both teams come out and handle the big second half of basketball.
Absolutely, and we'll get started once again for the second half. Bulleen in their home blues to the left and Wyndham in their home yellows to the right.
There it is.
As the pressure extends up the floor, as we've kind of expected all night, and this is what Bulleen had to be so careful about, as Wyndham just go down the floor and easily tip in there first of the second half to take the lead back.
The pressure in that half court on that defensive end, they do that so often, send that double team and turn it into an open layup, exactly like that.
Bulleen now working, trying to get Bontempelli involved. Great job, Pascal down there, trying to just create a turnover, which she did successfully. And here she is again now trying to work. Pull up to her right was short and missed a lot, but a great effort underneath there. That was Lauren Jones to try and save it, but the ball unfortunately bounces off her foot and heads out of bounds. So a frenetic start in the first 45 seconds here to the second half. We're glad you're here with us. We're live from Nunawading. It's a big night. State champ women followed by state champ men. 2 title deciders on the one night. Bulleen now through Bontempelli. Pascal guarding, great feed inside and a great finish was Annabelle Dearbon. A great finish with the left off the scintillating dime from Liv Bontempelli. And it feels like we can finally take a breath now as a foul's called. That'll go against Annabelle Dearbon. That's her first on the night.
Both teams running transition pretty quick. Makes it hard for the commentators, that's for sure. So Lauren Jones on the baseline
Looking and working now. Here's Jamie Lee Pearce, and they'll work through Alex Connolly, who gets the start in the second half. A corner 3 from the right won't go, and that'll come up just to the left, and that's Lauren Jones. Probably slightly managing their foul trouble here, I would imagine. Over the course is going to be imperative for both sides. You know, you look at Jamie Lee Pearce, who's got her 3 so far on the night.
Yeah, got to be careful. And, you know, working on Caitlin Van Ness, who's been really solid inside as well. She's going to have her work cut out for her.
And there is Van Ness kicking out to Bontempelli, who's now working on Pascal. A turnaround jump shot from Bontempelli was long, and Wyndham will take it away.
Good transition from Wyndham here, getting Pascal off on the run. The Boomers in a 2-3 zone.
Connolly tried to get it up through traffic, and it got met by a wall of blue shirts. That was a tough finish for anyone in any league, let alone this one. Dearbon steps into a 3, and it was long and right. And it clatters off the back iron and ends up in a Wyndham hand once again. Pascal looking once again, trying to work now with Connolly. Beg your pardon, Dolney. Now it's Connolly.
Had Dolney on the back door there, but Van Ness just covered it just at the right time.
Pascal and Pearce is that ball screen action you talked about so fondly earlier. Dish inside Dolney, the fall-away jump shot from the short corner was long, but then she tried to hustle after it and get her own rebound. Couldn't quite. Van Ness collected her 9th of the night. 8th of the night, I beg your pardon. As Bourne went underneath. A nice little jelly lay over the right side reverse.
We talked about the AP crossover as we see one just there.
There is AP going downhill and
jelly off the glass.
Geez, I'd love to have another look at that one. A great finish from Amy Baum over the right-hand side. The little jelly reverse layup was just soft touch and spinning and just everything you want to see.
Benefit of the viewers at home on the YouTube can double tap, go back, watch that one while AP shoots these 2 free throws, and yeah, that looks nice.
She'll go to the line and makes her first. We mentioned she's a She's a strong presence from the line, 73% on the season, but yet to miss tonight from her 7 attempts. Or her 8th for that matter, as she connects again. Makes it her 19th point on the night. 20th point now after the second. As Bourne with no pressure at all goes all the way.
Too easy.
A massive breakdown in communication for Wyndham there.
So that's a 3-point lead back out for the Boomers.
Pascal now with the Pierce ball screen once again. Rolled, they got their mismatch here. Van Ness guarding Pascal as she shoots the straightaway 3-pointer. And it did not look like missing.
Yeah, it doesn't put up a lot of volume, AP. Probably is one of the less strong 3-point shooters. Doesn't mean she's a bad 3-point shooter by any means.
There she is again on the defensive end.
That's what she does.
She's been so active with the hands over the season and now tries to get to the basket. Tried to collect her offensive rebound as well. Great defense from Bulleen across the board there. Van Ness inside. Spin move got her so wide open. No one within a metre of her as she collects and makes it a 2-point game again for Bulleen. Pascal now working.
Tempo's up for Wyndham. That's what they want.
Seen 4 times in a row now offensively for Wyndham that they've worked that pick and roll with Pascal and Pierce. Such a staple of this offense over the back half of the season. And Van Ness now inside with some pressure from Pascal, and it was enough to force the long little shot from the left-hand block.
Yeah, good defense. Just don't give away the foul, really, is the
great bit of defense there. That looks like that was Maxine Allen that picked up the charge, and the 3rd foul will get charged on. That'll go to Lauren Jones, and I think she'll take a seat now with her 3rd.
So Mackenzie Drew checking in, and Sarah Bennett and Tennille Knight. Bit of rotations here for Jared Hillier as Connolly, Pierce and Jones come off.
Wholesale changes. You have to wonder what their offense looks like now with the absence of Pierce on the floor. We mentioned they've gone a few times in a row to that Pierce and Pascal ball screen action in the middle of the floor. A lot of hands at the top there as Bourne went downhill, kicked out to Dearborn. Dearborn, right-hand floater.
Nice. Great finish inside. Bulleen again attacking the paint. And Wyndham
Mackenzie Drew, wide open 3. Couldn't connect, but got her offensive rebound. Keeps it alive now with a fresh 14. Inside now is Bennett, spinning onto her left.
Yeah, so right-hander Sarah Bennett, but almost goes left every time. Probably had the right hand open if she had gone straight away.
Here goes Baum downhill again. Great little layup package, but couldn't connect on that one. Tries to keep it alive, and it went off a Bulleen hand and falls out of bounds.
Coin flip that one of who that was off.
Baum really disappointed with the call, but it looked like a pretty good one from here.
50-50 from here. Bit of pressure on Pascal.
Oh, here she goes now. Managing to break that first line of Bulleen pressure. Works on her left hand through traffic. And a late call, and she'll go to the line. Baum didn't seem to like that one much either.
It's one of those late calls, and not that I'm an expert referee by any means. They sometimes will hold the whistle. They don't think it's worthy of an and one opportunity. If that shot drops, probably doesn't get the foul. There's enough contact there, though, and AP is going to go to the line for the what number field goal attempt, free throws is this? This is the 5th time in the line for AP, and that's her first miss.
Yeah, so 8 or 9 now from the line on the night, but just in terms of the Bulleen side of things there, it was Baum picking up her 3rd on the foul on Pascal's shot, who then responds with making her 2nd. Romas will come in, and Maxine Allen will take a seat.
And this is where Wyndham are looking to attack, I think, with the tempo going up. A few of the starters either feeling a bit of the fatigue, but
whoa, geez,
you
looked
wouldn't
like
know
a
it.
wide open layup for Baum, but decided to turn it down in favour of the kick-out pass. Bontempelli working, little mismatch inside size-wise. Gets a little spin back to the right hand and finishes through traffic.
Sarah better not want to pick up her foul, her 3rd foul there.
This is what we mentioned earlier, was the foul trouble for both teams as Kujovic, who's just checked in, parries it off to Bontempelli, and something about those black long sleeves just connecting telepathically over there. As it sailed onto the Wyndham bench.
Sailed over the bench, no one in the vicinity.
Pascal now working. Kujovic tries to switch on, couldn't quite. And the ball went off a bunch of hands, but Kujovic comes up with the steal.
Strong. The Boom has been ripping the ball out of Wyndham's hands.
Kick out pass, Bontempelli. through traffic, left hand. Oh, sat on the front of the ring, couldn't quite fall though. As Pascal just cleans up the miss.
Yeah, Tennille Knight able to do just enough.
And it is just a bit of that right now, is both teams doing just enough. The lead's sort of held at a pretty consistent.
That's it.
Between, I was about to say 3 and 5, but let's say 1 and 3 points.
Yeah. Jeez, yeah. Holly Dolney in the corner is a great look. I'll say it every time.
Dearborn now calling for a screen from Bontempelli, but turns it down. Penetration through the middle. Fell off the right side of the ring and goes the way of, that's Mackenzie Drew, and she'll get fouled.
Tennille Knight, sorry.
Tennille Knight, I beg your
I know,
pardon.
but again, the black long sleeves.
It's black long sleeves.
Yeah.
Killing me.
Hot. I couldn't play a full game with the long sleeves on, I reckon.
Short sleeves, yes. Long sleeves, questionable. But anyway, we'll take a time out here. It'll be Rogers from Bulleen that wants to have a chat about it.
This game is just, no one's able to. I mean, Bulleen, you would say, have just been on top. I often refer to the game as an arm wrestle. It's been Bulleen marginally in front the whole way, but no one's been able to stamp authority. Credit to both teams. This is what you want from the grand final. We want a tight game, and this is what we're getting. It's fantastic from both teams.
Absolutely, and you know, it's a 2-point lead now to Bulleen as we head towards the latter stages of this third quarter. We mentioned about halfway through the second that the third quarter is the premiership quarter, and you know, you couldn't really split them at the moment. It's 11-12, slightly in the way of Bulleen as they took that 1-point advantage in at halftime. And it'll be very interesting to see how this plays out over the last 3:25 here in the third. We're glad you're here with us. It's Nunawading for Wyndham and Bulleen here in the State Champ Women's Grand Final for 2023.
There's a grand final replay from last year. These two teams have been the top of the crop for the BigV Champ Women's for quite a while now. And the skills and the finishing, even just seeing the pressure that Wyndham have been able to put on. Often these layups and the looks that Bulleen are getting, we've seen not go in for other teams, but Bulleen being up to the challenge, they're able to make the shots and have themselves a 2-point lead because of it.
So it'll be Wyndham taking over once again with a low shot clock here as they tick under 10. Drew looking inside, but it'll be a kick ball, and we can forget about that low clock as it'll go back to 14. Still a 2-point lead to Bulleen as we
feel so funny about a kickball. I don't know. Some part of it doesn't sit right with me of it just being a shot clock reset. I don't know about you, but anyway.
I think we bring back the jump ball for the held ball. To be honest, let's run it like it's 1994 once again.
Get a point guard in the centre.
Absolutely. Nothing like a cheap little jump ball win. Just gain your possession back. Reward the defence. Great board, Kujovic, and a great slap away was Pascal trying to rip it back out, and it'll actually come off her foot and it'll stay with Bulleen.
Looking for a 5th steal already, Amanda Pascal.
Slightly over a regular billing of 3.4 a game over the course of the season.
Yeah, I think she won the Golden Hands Award for the BigV last year. I haven't done the math on it this year, but it was assists plus steals minus turnovers.
I dare say should be pretty close once again. A low turnover team and, you know, generates a high number of stops on the defensive end. Maltezos comes back in for Bulleen with Ali Keating. Bontempelli takes a seat. Hasn't she had a night tonight?
Yeah, been solid so far. Bontempelli, 17 points.
Maltezos now walking down the hill. Couldn't get the layup to go.
Good job by Pearce. This little tap over the top to Pascal.
This is where Wyndham have to take advantage now. A lot of starters out for Bulleen as Pascal works through 2 sets of hands. That's a classy little finish through the gap.
Slicing through a little gap there, Pascal. Ties it up at 51 apiece.
Kick ahead pass now, Romas. Working with Keating. Now Baum. Kick out pass. A shot fake and a step back 3 for Kelly Romas. Couldn't go. It'll be Connolly taking it away.
Nice behind the back move there, finding some space.
Got rid of that pressure. Now Dolney, who's been the threat from outside so far for Wyndham. Clangs one off the front iron there, but couldn't get it to go. Keating with a lot of pressure. Nice little underhand pass there. Found Romas, who got the lay to go, and Hillier calling for more from Wyndham right now. Wants to crank up the pressure. Bulleen well and truly under the cloche right now. Dolney inside, couldn't get that to go. Tough young player is Dolney. Was nominated for Youth Player of the Year this year.
Wyndham going to keep running here, keep the pace up, keep the pressure on the Boomers as Connolly takes it in.
Little lay left hand was no good. Kujovic able to clean up for the Boomers. And it's been really the tale of the night for Bulleen. They're +9 on rebounds to a team that's normally +10 overall.
Yeah.
So you have to think that that's had some impact in the way that Wyndham like to play. Romas, left corner three, couldn't get it. And Keating once again cleans up. Maltesos three was a mile off as it bounces off, and it'll be a Wyndham ball as they go back. Pascal pulls up from the right elbow and connects.
Tie ball game again.
Up to 28 now is Amanda Pascal.
It's a double-double now with 10 rebounds to go along with that.
Maltesos working through traffic. Looked like a carry. Kick over. Right corner, Ali Keating. Short, bounced around, didn't like it. And it'll run away the other way. Pascal now working.
Just gets the offense going so quickly, Pascal, grabbing those defensive rebounds.
She's got an ISO with a matchup she likes. Romas tried to get a hand up, but it was no match. 30 for Pascal. As once again, with 15 seconds left in the third, Wyndham have taken a 2-point lead. Romas now, low clock, 4 on it, and got fouled right at the end of the play there. And the foul will go on Mackenzie Drew. That'll be her first on the night.
Just her first. Not a bad foul to give. Rather give away the foul, send it to the line. Otherwise, it probably would have been a wide open layup. She was probably getting past Mackenzie there. If it's your first foul, you're happy to give one away in the third quarter, I suppose.
Percentage play as well, you would say, so low in the clock at the end of the quarter. Romas, though, an 82% shooter from the line.
Yep.
Makes her first off the front iron.
Still chance for Wyndham if they have time. Saw AP knock on there from half court last week.
There's time if they're good enough here, and we know how quick they can score. Romas connects the second. And they'll try and get it to go. Here's Pascal. Oh, a lot of steps, but was way short on the attempt anyway as it bounces out of bounds. But
good defense from Maltesos coming across late there.
The timer will beat them. And would you read about it? It's a tied game here at Nunawading. 55 each, Wyndham and Bulleen. With 1 quarter of play left in the season, it's all to play for.
Jeez.
We're glad you're here with us from Nunawading. With a quarter to play left in this state championship women's season.
Loving the basketball IQ from Alex Connolly there, using that baseline. It's one of those ones that's often forgotten about, is that when you take the ball out, you're not stuck there. You can zigzag back and forth on that baseline as many times as you like. And Alex Connolly able to beat that full court press just by simply running across to the side and finding a Pascal open in transition. But we couldn't get the shot off there. But good IQ from Alex Connolly. That's what we've got here. We've got is it a half-court shootout?
It's like a half-court shootout. I did see something come up on the big screen before about potentially a couple of NBL tickets on the line. Maybe, I'm not quite sure. We'll see what's happening here.
It's a half-court shot. You're not far off hitting the roof.
Oh, looks good too. Oof, front iron. No good. Yeah, contestant number 2. The foot was over the line and it was slightly off and long. Left. This is only the second strangest thing I've commentated on over the last couple of weeks. I recall being at that Youth League 1 final a couple of weeks ago, and we were all one eyeball on the game in front of us at East Doncaster, but also one eye on Sydney and watching the Matildas
Yes,
in their penalty shootout.
I remember commentating a game when that was going on at the same time. Yep. Yeah, we had a dress up. We had a race with the under-10s one night, and there was had to run to half court, throw on like an extra large Wyndham, and then dribble back in and make the layup. That was good fun. That was a fun little night we had. It was the championship banner and ring presentation evening, so had plenty of stuff going on there, much like there is today.
Very good, and it's a great crowd in tonight, as we've mentioned over the course of the night. Hottest ticket in town is tonight here at Nunawading. Season on the line now, 1 quarter left to play, 10 minutes of basketball. It's a championship Saturday night here at Nunawading, as we're tied at 55 going into the last quarter. We're glad you're here with us. It's Jack Thornton here with Mitch Child, with a quarter left to play in this championship women's grand final season for 2023. Perfection on the line for Wyndham, chasing their 3rd title in a row, and Bulleen chasing their 1st title since 1999, and to do the championship and Youth League 1 double in the same season for the women as Dolney
Holly Dolney knocks down the first one of the fourth quarter.
opens it in the last and brings the lead to 3.
It's a fourth triple, 4 from 6. Up to 14 points for Holly. Just to help that AP needs.
Romas inside, working on Pascal. And it'll bounce out of bounds off Keating's hand, and it'll head Wyndham's direction as they try and, in a tennis term, try and generate a break point here.
And we talked about who's going to go with AP and be the help. Holly's only 4 from 6 from beyond the arc.
Had a look at a really long one there, but decided against it. They'll work now through Jones. Jones ISO against Keating. Here goes Connolly, now Dolney. Dolney with a lot of pressure off Maltezos, and
Good
looked like she
defense.
just got caught with her hand in the cookie jar there, and Maltezos will pick up her first, and the first for Bulleen here in this fourth period.
Again, I think, happy to give away the foul there. It was good defense for, 20 seconds of the shot clock. Just that last second, that foul being called.
Dolney looking to work with the ball in her hands now. Pascal with her 30 points, taking a back seat for the time being. Kick out pass, here's Connolly, a 3. Was long, but Pascal able to keep that ball alive. Connolly has another go, same spot. Couldn't get that one either, but they're going to get another offensive board here. Keating took a spill behind play.
That was Lauren Jones getting a hand on that one, just keeping it alive. Ends up in the hands of Pascal. A little 1-2 with Jones.
Pascal at the top with Maltezos guarding. Goes downhill, finds the rolling Pierce, who gets it to go. Pierce and Pascal able to connect again on that on-ball screen action, that pick and roll. Romas, kick out. Just wanted to look at a long 2, couldn't get it.
Good rebound by Pierce.
Pierce lost the handle of it on that rebound, did a great job to find it, but then lost the handle. Got to get it over here to Wyndham, and they do.
Just in time.
Pascal working, controlling the pace. Connolly now through traffic, and Kujovic. Pascal trying to line up a 3, couldn't get it. Here's Pierce out of the low post, step back 2.
Good
Bit
look.
strong. Good look
from
though.
Pierce. Has the range, can knock down the long balls as well.
Little step back for her was no good. She's normally a 51% shooter on this season. Generates a lot of her looks inside, but like you mentioned, able to step out and connect.
As Wyndham just fired the first shot in this fourth quarter. It's extending a fight. This will be Wyndham's biggest lead of the game, 5 points.
5 points, which is astounding.
It's not often
considering the
you
season
say that.
they've had, and, a defensive slog that's gone in the way of Bulleen. They were the best defensive team over the course of the season, only giving up 63 points a game.
Wow, yeah. And have done the best job at keeping Wyndham quiet throughout the season as well.
Bulleen have gone back to their starting lineup here. They made a couple of changes in that last play. Maltezos also stayed out there, and she just missed a left-hand layup.
This is where that fatigue factor comes in. We saw those looks were dropping in the first half of the Boomers. Maybe
Here's
things
Pascal
just starting
off
to
a double.
turn.
Three-pointer
Wyndham.
Lauren Jones.
In and out.
In and out, and bounce over the top, and it'll go off of Van Ez's hand and fall out of bounds.
Lauren Jones is, that's a 0 from 6, but hasn't put up a bad shot. Lauren Jones looks like she's been half a chance at making every single one of those. But as a good shooter does, you're going to keep putting them up.
There was that last change as well to get that starting lineup back out there. Maltezos took a seat for Max Allen.
Good rotations from the Boomers to close up on Connolly there. There's a bit of pressure in the backcourt.
A lot of pressure, and that's a hospital ball as Dolney tries to kick out. And another, Connolly now working. Pascal gets it at the top with a bad mismatch for Bulleen.
Good scramble by the Boomers to not allow the transition basket.
Managed to get out of there, and Dearborn was able to guard her once again. Connolly and Pierce now working. A bit of more ball screen action at the top. They went DHO. Dribble handoff. Van Ez hit the deck. It'll be a straightaway 3. And Jones connects.
Keep shooting him, Jack.
Extends it to 8. And another pretty dodgy looking pass as Pascal ended up on someone's lap in the front row there.
Yeah, it's not far from the sideline, is it?
And a timeout as Wyndham lead by 8.
Jeez, you
With
wouldn't want to.
6:50 left in the season, and the crowd just starting to lift a little. This big, strong traveling contingent from Wyndham up the Monash.
We saw Lauren Jones, I just said, good shooters, keep shooting. 0 from 6, doesn't matter. We're 1 from 7 now. Lauren Jones, and that's an 8-point lead for Wyndham. It's going to be tough from the Boomers as we see the fatigue factor coming in for Wyndham. We knew it was coming. We knew it was going to play a part. And the Boomers, up until about 2 minutes ago, were doing it fantastically well until we saw that defensive pressure, half-court turnovers. It feels like it's been a little while since the Boomers got a shot off even.
Absolutely. It'll be interesting to see what Coach Rogers can wheel out here for the Boomers.
It's not
Very
panic stations just yet. Still plenty of time. But yeah, just touch on how close that sideline is to the bench. We've got McQueen Poundak and Jordan Vandenberg in the men's game later. A couple of big bodies getting around. You wouldn't want to have them diving in.
Just a couple of big guys throwing their weight around, banging bodies. Be interested to see what happens later on tonight. That's from 8 o'clock. McKinnon taking on Hume in the late game. And the crowd just lifting and lifting for McKinnon. Beg your pardon, for Wyndham here. Baum went underneath to try and get one, and I'm not quite sure what this call is, but it's going to go against Van Ez for a push out on that rebound. And Wyndham just taking the advantage and running with it here. It's an 8-point lead now that goes in their advantage. Bulleen in an absolute shambles right now offensively, cannot get a score.
Well, we saw Jones almost steal from the inbound pass just earlier as Dolney. Oh, Maxine Allen.
Outstanding hands from Maxine Allen. And Pierce reached in, got her hands caught in the cookie jar and picks up her 4th personal.
Looked like an open layup for Holly. Maxine Allen just sticking a hand in.
Thanks for coming. I'll have that one for free.
That was great defense. She was not even in close to being in position. So fantastic. Yeah. As the Boomers need a make here.
It's an 8-0 run here in the 4th for Wyndham, and it extends to a 10-0 run if you take that out to the end of the last quarter. Here's Maxine Allen through traffic, and
great take.
As was required, manages to get the finish there. Opens the account for the Boomers here in the 4th quarter. Cuts the lead back to 6 now for Wyndham. They'll work now. Jones with the kick out to Dolney, a really deep three. It was only a little bit off. It was straight and looked good the whole way. And Bontempelli is going to get charged with a reach in there, and that'll be the 3rd team foul for Bulleen. Just under, I beg your pardon, 6 minutes left here in this 4th quarter.
Yeah, they don't want to send Wyndham to the line. I mean, it's only been AP at the line, but she's 9 of 10. So I guess you could say Wyndham as a team are 9 from 10 from the stripe. So they don't want to get themselves in foul trouble. As Coach Jared Hilly has injected Rachel Kerr into the game, wanting some more defensive pressure if there wasn't enough already.
Boy, they've had a lot of that defensive pressure here in that last quarter. An 8-2 run for Wyndham here in the 4th. Dolney, a really deep three. In and out once again. Bontempelli, great box out and rebound. And Dearborn able to deal with the pressure quite well there. Baum holds it up, and it'll be Dearborn and Bontempelli playing out of an on-ball screen. And now Van Ez comes to get Baum. Tries to get around Kerr, picks the pocket. Off to the races. Oh, it's stripped away. Dearborn in the back. Great active hands there for both teams. Able to take it away on one end was Kerr, and then Dearborn able to poke it out of bounds. Saves the layup on the last line of defense.
Great defense from both players.
And we talked about those turnovers. Bulleen coming close to their quota for the night, 15 so far. Yeah. And that'll be another one for Wyndham, who will move from 12 to 13 with that offensive foul on Pascal.
That's the first one for Pascal. Just saw that offhand lift. That offhand as it comes up off the dribble. You see that offensive foul, a pretty easy call. There was a bit of contact from both players, but when that hand comes up a little bit, you see the push off.
Dearborn, a lot of pressure in the backcourt there. That'll be from Jones. And this is that Wyndham pressure we've talked about ad nauseum all night. Here's Max Allen, tried to get the little jump shot from the short corner to go, couldn't quite. Oh. Geez, that's a great save, Jamie Lee Pierce.
Referee right in place in the baseline as well. And a perfect view of the feet from Pierce, who tiptoes and keeps herself in bounds.
Towed the line beautifully, as that's a triple from the left wing, but it'll miss. And Jamie Lee Pierce came up with it, and Dolney had a lot of space inside, but Van Ez just sucked it up from nowhere and sent it back.
Go Gadget Arms, Caitlin Van Ez from a mile behind Holly Dolney, blocking
did a wonderful job recovering and taking that away, and they'll come back out here with 13 on the clock, 10 now.
Jeez, it's been down this end a lot this 4th quarter, hasn't it?
Fatigue having a set in now. Pascal off the drive, got a lot of contact. Looked pretty good from here, looked pretty straight up, but the referee will say the Dearborn caught her on the body. And I have to say I agree. I was looking at the arms, and
I think it's a bit of what goes around comes around for Pascal. I've seen her get absolutely clobbered many times throughout the season and get no whistles. So she's getting a couple here tonight. You can't really feel too bad about that. With 3 referees, you'd imagine they would be making the right calls. They're not going to have a bad angle.
not calling the grand final for no reason.
That's right, absolutely.
Best three all season. So
yeah.
Pascal makes her first, goes to 10 of 11 from the line, 31 for her on the night.
Jeez.
Shooting at an outstanding percentage.
And if you're going to miss one, miss the second one, I suppose. Get that clock ticking if you're Wyndham.
Just under 4.5 left here in this final quarter. Wyndham holding a 7-point lead after that Pascal free throw.
Rachel Kerr again giving Amy Baum a hard time. Good screen from Bontempelli.
Baum, Bontempelli now tried to get the layup. Bit strong. Those are the ones that were falling for her in the first quarter. Couldn't get that one to go, and Pearce now handling the ball.
Not afraid to put it on the floor.
Sentence I'm not sure I thought I'd hear at the start of the night, but here we are.
Yeah, that's how Wyndham play. They want everyone to be able to have the ball in their hands. And I've seen Sarah Bennett and Jamie Lee Pearce, who are the centres. They're happy to dribble the ball down the court if no one's going to go to them.
Pascal, low shot clock. Euro layup blocked out of there by Bontempelli. Great effort coming across from the help side.
Saw that Euro coming a mile away.
Max Allen, a lot of body contact, went down. They'll throw it underneath Dearborn. Now Bontempelli gets the layup to go.
Holly Dolney's down and not in a great shape.
Slow to get up here is Dolney. Might have been a little rolled ankle on that one, but grabbing her calf by the looks of it. Might have copped a bit of a corky there as she went to the floor. A bit of cramp by the looks of it.
Cramp.
Pascal's down there, giving her a quick stretch. Hilliard, furious down there on the sideline, having a big conversation.
Holly Dolan copped the shoulder and the chest, and we saw AP give away the offensive foul just a moment ago, and you could argue the point that Holly was set there. Referees have been, I must say, as much as there have been fouls called, it's been a pretty physical game. And I think it's been well called by the referees. I'm always pretty happy to praise the refs. I wouldn't say anything if they weren't doing a good job, but
absolutely,
I feel like they've been fantastic here tonight.
Dolney will take a seat after that little niggle, and the floor sweepers come out. Great to see some kids down here tonight. A couple in the Wyndham colours. So I don't know if they've got a couple in the Bulleen colours at the other end, but
usually we have them on the baseline with the little sweepers. But
yeah, well, we've upgraded in the world. We've got some real towels that actually do something now. So
that's
little wins.
Those mops do absolutely nothing.
We'll go again now, and Connolly it was that checked in there with her 3 fouls. And Dolney will take a seat, as we mentioned. Wyndham looking to extend this lead out from 5. Pearce had an acre of space inside, working on Dearborn. Floated over the front, but was a little strong on the lay.
He's able to balance nicely for the shot, but just
inside Van Ness. A lot of pressure from Pearce.
I think that was Kerr with some hands on it as well.
Kerr
good hustle from Pearce, because Van Ness was out in transition very early. Jamie Lee Pearce hustling down the court, able to just give it just enough pressure to not allow the shot to go up.
Kerr had a toe out of bounds as she came up with that loose ball. Bontempelli working on Pascal now. Inside Dearborn. Oh, great little finish over the front of the ring. Cuts the lead to 3 with 3 minutes left in this championship decider.
Just when you thought Wyndham might have been controlling things, the Boomers just bring things back a little bit. 1 possession game now.
Here's Pearce at the top of the floor. Tried to go ball screen there. That was with Jones. Very close to the backcourt. Bontempelli, a lot of pressure. Rogers wants the hands out. Can't blame him. They're right on the bubble here of the bonus. Pearce, Bontempelli, and a block will go on Bontempelli. Wow. Great job by Pearce. Great heads-up play to pivot into that one and draw the foul. She'll go to the stripe and shoot a pair now. 3rd foul for Bontempelli. You have to wonder how much of an impact this will have as we come down the stretch. This foul trouble of Bulleen. 15. It'll be a timeout that'll be called the way of Wyndham, and Jared Hillier wants to have a chat, trying to steady the troops just as we come down the stretch here. 2:38 left in this state championship women's final. 64 are Wyndham and 61 Bulleen. Glad you're here with us from Nunawading.
You mentioned
Mitch, what pointers have you got here down the stretch in this last 3 minutes?
You mentioned coach killers just before, and when the shot clock's down to 3 seconds, giving away a foul. Not even a shooting foul, a on-ball foul, and giving those away is a real coach killer, especially if Jamie Lee Pearce can go to the line and knock these 2 down. Obviously, Wyndham with 2 more fouls to give. You know that they're probably going to give them. They play that aggressive style of defense. There's going to be hands-on. They're going to play 40 minutes of pressure defense. So there's probably going to be a couple of fouls from them too. But yeah, giving them away in the last 2 seconds or 3 seconds of the shot clock's yeah, a real coach killer.
Certainly makes it tough, but these are probably going to be the 2 biggest free throws that Pierce shoots of the season.
Yeah, that's right.
If she can extend this lead out to 5, you would have to think that, you know, the fat lady's knocking on the door to borrow an expression from Rex Hunt.
Yeah, that's right. 70% free throw shooter Jamie Lee Pierce.
You'd like to think she goes up there and knocks down both here if you're a Wyndham fan. And if you're a Bulleen fan, you're hoping that it's that 27% that's going to come up for it this time.
Bit of pressure too, and you know, chatting to a few people, and this is where you feel it. You know, this is where you feel the pressure. When the game stops and you have time to think, this is where the pressure mounts up, and we see Jamie Lee Pierce miss the first.
Couldn't get the first, but couldn't get the second either. And Bontempelli with a big captain's rebound there.
So 2 missed free throws from Pierce is huge.
2.5 is a long time. It's not panic stations yet if you're Bulleen and you're chasing this game. Dearborn downhill to the basket. Unguarded, little layup. Cuts it to 1.
You've got to chase them off the 3-point line. If you're Wyndham, you can't let them get away with threes when you're down by 3. So I think that was Kerr closing out pretty hard.
And an offensive foul now. That'll go on Pierce, and that's her 5th. Wow, that's a big one. Got pinged for the offensive on that roll to the basket, and that's a big miss now for Wyndham.
Just trying to look at the replay here and see what was going on with Jamie Lee Pierce.
Yeah, a lot of contact as she went down the lane there. A lot of body on Bontempelli.
Yeah.
Looked like she just nailed her as she tried to roll to the basket, tried to get Pascal some extra space.
That's a big turnover for Wyndham there too.
Well, I thought Dearborn was about to fire that one out of bounds in the backcourt there, but Baum was able to control it. Baum now working. Kick out pass, Bontempelli. Through traffic, picks up the foul. Will go on Dolney. That'll be her first of the night.
Free throw is going to come down to it and be a huge factor.
Importantly, that's now Wyndham in the bonus as well. So both Bulleen and Wyndham will be shooting free throws on every foul from now.
So Bontempelli 1 from 2 earlier from the night.
Just inside 2 minutes left in this one as Bontempelli misses the first. Now's probably the time she needs to step up and hit the second here just to cut this deficit back to nothing, tie the game up and set us up for a massive last 2 minutes, and she does just that.
Pascal out in transition now, scores all tied.
Pascal now to the lane, to the rim, and got the foul call. Foul will go on Van Ness, and that'll be her 3rd. But importantly, sends the 10 of 11 on the night, or 11 of 12? 10 of 12, I beg your pardon, huge. On the night.
Just to get to the line 6 times in a game is huge, let alone.
Pretty much automatic is Pascal from the line. She'll go for a pair with 1:50 left in this one. Big 2 free throws coming up here. And this is why you spend all those hours at the stripe at training. Gets her first.
Nothing but the bottom of the net there for AP. Crowd favourite back home, so shout out to all the Wyndham viewers joining us. All the young girls watching at home, watching AP.
Gets the second to go now, Bontempelli to inbound. 2-point lead for Wyndham here. So I look down and see the McKinnon men's have just arrived. That's why they had McKinnon in my mouth. 1:40 left now.
Good
Here goes Dearborn. Dearborn with a mile of space. Deep 3. Off the back iron. Bontempelli, great effort to keep that ball alive. Offensive rebound. Van Ness inside through traffic.
Good defense.
Couldn't get it. Dearborn inside. Gets the 2 to go.
Dearborn on the boards has been massive. That's her 11th rebound. Second offensive, Annabelle Dearborn.
A big double-double for her tonight. 15 and 11 to this point in time. As Dolney tries to connect on a 3. Puts it in.
Downtown Holly Dolney.
Downtown Dolney has a nice ring to it as she connects on her 5th of the night.
It's taken me a whole season to get that one. Thanks, Jack.
A lot of pressure here as that looks like Dearborn on the floor that went to the deck. I think it's going to stay with Bulleen here with 9 on the shot clock, but geez, that wind of pressure that's just been a staple for them all season.
Yeah, Sarah Bennett just getting a hand on that one, being able to disrupt the dribble a little bit. We're down to the last minute now, Jack.
What answer have Bulleen got here? There's 1:03 on the clock, a 3-point ball game. Wyndham with the lead, and it'll be Maxine Allen to inbound for Bulleen.
Allen's been great tonight.
They'll go through Baum. She'll work through a ball screen and Van Ness. Kick out pass. Miles of space there. A lot of body contact from Pascal, but gets it through traffic. 1 point game, just under a minute.
Great rotation from Pascal, but Caitlin Van Ness up to the task. Fantastic shot in traffic.
Here go Wyndham now. Pascal. Dearborn on her back. Kick out pass. Dolney wanted it. Gets it now. Looks inside. That'll be Bennett. Kick out pass. Connolly for three. Was long, and it'll be a Wyndham ball. It'll be a Wyndham ball with 14 on the shot clock. 34 on the game. So
I'm biased. That's how I saw it. I saw it off a Bulleen hand.
definitely off the hand of Maxine Allen down there, I thought. Waited on that ref's call from the baseline. Just out of zone on that one, but made the right call.
I like to see the...
Oh, and a turnover
great
off the
defense.
inbound. Great hand. Here's Allen. Allen. Van Ez. Inside.
Oh.
Oh, no, she missed it. Just inside 25 seconds. A lot of ball pressure in the backcourt and a foul. And Van Ez will be kicking herself for that uncontested layup with 23 on the clock.
And to give away the foul there as well. They had that ball trapped in the corner. They had Connolly in real trouble.
And it wasn't even necessarily from a turnover perspective. They were getting low on that 8 in the backcourt. They had to try and find something out of there, Wyndham, but unfortunately got bailed out, and Connolly will walk the length, and it was Dearborn that picked up that foul there for reaching in to try and generate a steal.
And we see that, talked about that pressure. The pressure in the game's building on both sides, but the layups that Bulleen were knocking down with ease in the first half they've dried up a little bit. They've still been great inside as Connolly
Makes the second
Makes the
2-point
second.
game. And Rogers will have a chat about it.
So, Jack, coach's hat on. 2 points down, 24 seconds left, let's call it. Are we holding for one and looking for the game winner?
I think if we're being realistic here, this has to be... I don't think you can leave too much time on the clock because you've got Pascal that does a great job of getting to the basket. You've got... Well, Pierce is out of the game now, but you've still got, as you put it, downtown Dolney, who's just been connecting from deep all night.
17 points, 5 of 9, Holly Dolney.
So you have to think that if you leave anything more than about 5 seconds on this game clock, there's enough time for a score for a win. And it wouldn't have to be a 3 either.
Yeah, Wyndham got 2 timeouts as well, so as soon as I get that ball, it's moving down their end.
I think it's going to be very interesting to see what they do here is Rogers just having a look in that huddle, you know, hanging off every word of that Bulleen outfit. We'll see what they've got here. It's
So Wyndham got to chase off the 3-point line here, not letting the 3 ball go up, send all the players outside. I think if Bulleen end up getting a look inside, Wyndham will have a chance to win it, if not, you know, end up in overtime. But I think denying the 3-point shot's going to be huge.
It's the kind of situation where if I'm Wyndham, I almost don't mind a foul with about 10 seconds left on the clock. You know, give yourself some time. Worst case, you're coming with 10 seconds and you've got a tied game.
Yeah.
So it's Bulleen right now that have to fire the shot.
Yeah.
10 seconds left in, 14 seconds left in this one, 23 in regulation.
Bontempelli with the ball in her hands.
Bontempelli to inbound. And it'll go through Baum at the top. Backdoor cut. Bontempelli to the rim. Gets it. Tie game.
Too easy for the Boomers.
And a quick score is probably not the worst thing in the world either for Bulleen, because if you give one away here, you got plenty of time to try and win it back.
Yeah.
So
almost created a 2-for-1 situation somehow.
To 70 each with 19 seconds left in the season. You would imagine that Big G will try and advance the ball here for Wyndham. Try and play out of this with a 14-second shot clock.
That's interesting offensive set there from the Boomers. Obviously, I think Wyndham would have been expecting Bontempelli to be the target from the inbounds. Instead, they sent her to make the inbound pass. Got the hands of Maxine Allen, who's been good on the passes. And with the ball in her hands here tonight, was able to get it back to Bontempelli quite easily after that. So, great read from the Boomers and great call from Coach Mason Rogers. So, Wyndham, I guess if they advance the ball, they take seconds off the shot clock as well. So, we'll see what happens here.
Yeah, so it will be a front court ball. It'll be 14 on the game on the shot clock, 19 on the game clock. So, regardless of what happens here, you're probably getting the ball back if you're Bulleen.
Yeah, with no timeouts.
Cannot foul this. I wouldn't have thought in any circumstance you're looking to foul here. So
Yeah.
it'll be Pascal to inbound.
They've done the same. They're going the same play almost here, I think.
I wouldn't mind tipping that there might be a little backdoor cut somewhere, or maybe Dolney on a triple. So we'll see what happens. The down screen for Dolney now. She'll come up with it, and they'll go backdoor now. Here they go, Jones. Looking for Pascal, guarded by Bontempelli. A lot of time with the ball in hand. 10 on the game. 4 on the shot clock. Inside is Bennett. Couldn't get it. Offensive rebound. Dearborn tried to get it. Couldn't go. Pascal got fouled as time expired. We're going to have a chat about this, I think, whether this buzzer went off before the foul was called. The refs are going to have a chat about it.
You wouldn't dream it. Unbelievable.
So it was definitely a foul on the floor, and if there is a foul indeed, it'll be Pascal that'll go to the line to win the title after the buzzer.
The one player who's 12 of 14.
No foul, and we're going to overtime. There was no time on the clock when the foul went. We looked up, and the backboard was illuminated. So at 70 each, we're going to take a 2-minute break, and we're going to be back for overtime. Mitch, how's the heart rate going? We mentioned at about half-time that the heart rate was going to be through the roof, and the Apple Watches and the Garments in the building were going to be going off their rocker.
It's just asked me if I wanted to start a workout.
Well, I wouldn't mind tipping that you should start that workout for this 5-minute overtime period.
Oh, my days. We wouldn't believe it, just with how this game has gone back and forth. I thought we were going to go to the line there for 2 free throws for AP, but no, the referees had to talk and thought it over. Well, that's one thing I do appreciate. I always appreciate when the referees come together collectively and make the call. And we obviously give them benefit of that. They've got it right. No one's going to doubt that at all. No benefit of, in a higher level game, we'd see the clock and the referees run over and look at the replay and go back, but with no benefit of that here. So they come together and have a good chat and make the call. And talk about a fitting song. Whoever's on the playlist right now.
I had a look down as the Boomers broke from that huddle there. 50 seconds left in this break between the end of regulation and overtime. As I glance down, and Van Ness was breathing a big sigh of relief with a little chuckle.
Yeah.
Maybe a nervous chuckle, as it almost sent it to a disastrous free throw situation if you're Bulleen, and a dream if you're Wyndham at the end of that regulation. Anyway, here we are. 70 points each, and we're going to go 5 minutes to have a look and see who will go home a winner tonight.
Well, the Boomers obviously comfortable in this situation. Obviously not the same pressure last week when they were up 1-0 in the series, but they were able to come home strong on the back of Olivia Bontempelli in that overtime period. So we'll see what they look to here. We've got 5 minutes left to play in an absolute barn burner here at another Wadding. Just the entree for tonight. We've got a great game following. But here it's Wyndham all tied up with Bulleen. 70 apiece.
So we'll go 5 minutes now to try and settle this. It'll be Wyndham with the ball in their home yellows working to the right of your screen if you've just joined us. Bulleen in their home blues working to the left. It's 70 each. It's a heavyweight battle of 1 versus 2 as we work with a big situation of win or go home, basically. It's do you want the chockies or do you want the boiled lollies? Here's Wyndham now, and they'll continue here with 12 on the shot clock. It'll be Bennett now to Pascal. Step back 2 with a bit of contact from Bontempelli on the way through, and I reckon that might be I was going to say that might have been a Wyndham ball, but the ref in the perfect position down there.
Yeah, I think Sarah was out of court as she jumped out to grab it, so good call by the ref right in the position there.
Here's that pressure full court again. Dolney extending up the court on Baum. And they'll try and slow it down and get a good set here. Lot of space. Allen, left corner 3. Off the front iron. Bit of nerves early in this in this overtime period, as we are just under a minute into this overtime period.
There's a few of the Wyndham bench there to our left wanting the whistle called. There's all sorts of hands in the way there of Lauren Jones, who manages to keep control of it safely.
Here's Dolney, tried to kick out to Connolly, but it was picked off by Dearborn. Dearborn trying to work. Has space at the top, feet inside Van Ness, trying to make amends for a little faux pas at the end of regulation. She'll get fouled this time and she'll go to the line. Third foul there will go on. That'll be Sarah Bennett.
Caitlin Van Ness, 50% free throw shooter for the season. So if you're Sarah, you're not too mad about that one, other than picking up your third foul, especially with the other big off the court being Jamie Lee Pierce, but sending Caitlin to the line.
Can't get the first to go, can't break the deadlock. She's been really good tonight for Bulleen, holding a double-double at the moment, 11 and 11.
That's right. Well, she was 3 from 4 at the stripe before this one.
Gets the second though, breaks the deadlock, and a 1-point lead for Bulleen here. Wyndham, what's their answer? Pascal working with a bit of space, gets the guard of Bontempelli. A lot of movement off the ball here, trying to generate some space. She calls for the ball screen from Bennett. Here's Pascal working. Max Allen, step back 2. Got called for a travel though. Looked like it was pretty right there with the footwork, but the ref said no, and it'll turn over and go the direction of Bulleen. A lot of pressure full court here. Hillier calling for that patented pressure in the full court. You might see a trap here as they get this ball over. Dearborn working with the ball in hand. Wrong foot layup was good. Oh, great finish through traffic.
And they're in front now, the Boomers, by 3.
3-point lead for Bulleen now. Wyndham need an answer. Will Pascal be the answer? No. Looks inside for Bennett. Sent back by Van Ness and a big yell.
Pumped up, Caitlin Van Ness. Great defensive stop there as Bennett.
Bulleen looking to slow it up just a touch here. The screen will come from Van Ness for Baum. Dish inside. Oh my God, it's gone off her head.
Another Falcon.
She loved the 2, Van Ness. Turnover though. Inside was Connolly. Gets the 2 to go.
Friendly roll for Alex.
Bontempelli tried to come across and influence the shot, but couldn't quite. Great screen there from Van Ness. Drilled. I think that was Dolney in the back play there. They'll get a screen at the top here. Bontempelli and Baum walking together. And they'll pull it out. Here's Allen. Allen downhill. That's on Dolney.
Oh.
Gets the little left-hand floater to go. That's really, really nice play. Great offense from Bulleen against this great Wyndham defense. It's the number 1 offense against the number 1 defense now. Can they get a hold? Can they get a score here, Wyndham?
Yeah, need something. Need something at this point.
Pascal now. Kick out pass. Connolly, right corner 3. Connects! Tie game again.
Alex Connolly, her second triple of the night, up to 13 points, just when Wyndham needed it.
Baum to the hoop. A lot of contact there from Pascal. Got away with it. She'll work now. Allen bodied her in the front court. Kick out pass. Connolly again. Got it again!
Hot hand, Alex Connolly. She was huge last week as well.
3-point lead. Here's Allen to answer. Couldn't.
And Connolly with the rebound this time. Alex Connolly with the hot hand.
Wyndham converting a break. From a break point down, they're going in ahead. Ball's on the floor. Pascal tries to kick it out and does eventually to Bennett. Bennett with the ball in hand at the top. Pretty loose handle. Turns it over. Bontempelli now. Pascal looking a little gimpy in the backcourt there, but couldn't quite influence it as Bontempelli cuts it back to 1. Minute and 20 left here in overtime 1.
We can't do 2 OTs here, Jack.
I don't think I can handle a second one.
It's been a fantastic game for
Pascal
both
bounced it off her foot, tried to slide after it, couldn't get it. But thankfully Connolly is able to collect. Pascal working with Dearborn. People out on their feet here. Kick out pass. Jones a 3. No good. Van Ness collects the rebound. She's been great on the glass all night. And a foul will get charged on Connolly. And Van Ness will walk the length of the floor to try and slice the deficit and tie this game up once again.
This game continues just to give us twists in the tail.
And it looked like they wanted to make a change there to get Kerr back in the game to insert some defensive presence, but Hillier waves it off as
that's
Van Ness is going to go to the line.
I wasn't sure what he was waving off there, but obviously a substitution.
I don't think there was a basket to wave off. Van Ness no good on the first.
Big free throw coming up.
Can't get the second. Bontempelli, big rebound inside, and one!
That is worst case scenario for Wyndham.
Cometh the moment, cometh the captain. As Bontempelli crashes the offensive board and it's going to go to the line to make it a 2-point game.
Bontempelli on the rebound. Absolutely massive. That's her 8th, third offensive. To go along with 24 points. Oh, 26 points, sorry, you're right, yes. Looking to make it 27.
Can't get it. Connolly collects. It's a 1-point game with just under a minute to go here in overtime.
It's in the
Here's
hands.
Pascal working. A lot of space at the top of the floor. Dolney tried. Allen came up with it. Went down hard on her head, and it's an unsportsmanlike on Dolney. Unsportsmanlike foul will go on Holly Dolney as Allen is shaken up on the play. Looked like her head landed on the ball. Bounced on the bounce. Third Falcon on the night.
Hit the ground very hard, Max and Allen. Hope she's okay after that one.
Looks like she's got up and is shaken up, but looks like she's going to carry on and she'll go to the stripe to shoot her pair. Importantly, with 42 seconds on the clock, it'll be 2 shots and possession for Bulleen here. And boy, is a stop from this stifling Wyndham defense going to be necessary coming off the back of it.
Lauren Jones.
Not sure what she was doing there. I'm not quite sure it works the same as a penalty in soccer where you might stand on the penalty spot. Allen was really long on the first. Hope she's
still shaking off that knock
a little
to the
bit
head.
shaken up to the head. Hope she can see straight.
Not a lot of give in the hardwood when you hit the ground.
Can she get the second? Yes, she can. So it'll be a 2-point game as we restart.
And the Boomers have the ball in their hands.
And it'll be a sub here as that'll be Lauren Jones taking a seat, and Rachel Kerr, the spark plug defensively for this Wyndham lineup, will come back into the game.
She's straight onto Amy Baum as well.
Desperately need a stop here, do Bulleen. It'll be Max Allen to inbound it. And they'll go through Baum at the top. The active hands of Kerr to defend. Baum looking to shake her. Back screen, and Bontempelli receives at the top. Got Pascal up in the air. Bounced around 4 or 5 times. Van Ness inside. Connects! And timeout Wyndham.
Wow.
4-point game, Bulleen.
Van Ness on the rebound this time. Bulleen have been on the offensive boards. Massive this fourth quarter. As we see there, Bontempelli and Van Ness. An absolute force. That's double-double for Caitlin Van Ness. Probably her 5th offensive rebound. It's been absolutely massive for the Boomers in this second half. As they hold on to a 4-point lead now. And Wyndham have the ball. They'll move it down. They need some magic here, Wyndham.
29 seconds left in this overtime. There's still plenty of time if they're good enough, which you would assume they are, considering they've been a 21-0 team through the regular season, went and swept McKinnon in their first round matchup to book a ticket for this championship game. Boy, does it come down to this. 29 seconds left in your season. As I said, time if you're good enough, but you know, you've got to come out, you have to generate a score, you have to try and get a stop without fouling. It's a situation where you can almost go 2 for 1 if you're willing to get a quick 2.
Down to the wire here. Rachel Kerr to inbound, no doubt, looking for Pascal. Bontempelli guarding it.
So
It's about 7 foot tall guarding that inbound pass.
Bontempelli with the long arms all over Kerr on the inbound. And a technical will go against Bontempelli for stepping over the line. Wow, and that's her 5th.
Oh my gosh.
No, her 4th, beg your pardon. The board's just corrected itself. It is indeed her 4th.
Technical foul on Boomers, Olivia
Just keep having these twists in the tail, don't we, Jack?
Just checking down to the bench. No, it is indeed her 5th foul. It is indeed her 5th. A bit of confusion on the score bench. Pascal made her first. And that'll make it 79 to 82 once it updates. Can't get the second though. That's a big change.
Yeah, halfway in and then halfway out.
So they're going to have a chat here. It looks like it will be Bontempelli's 5th. A bit of confusion on the floor. It is indeed her 5th foul.
Yeah, we had her on her 4th on the website, which is usually a few minutes behind. So, if technical foul, it would have to be.
presumably it would be her 5th, assuming that she was on her
4th and then picked up 1.
For so they're going to have a chat about this. Bit of confusion here in the situation of the technical foul just then. So the correction there is indeed that it will be Bontempelli's 4th foul. So she'll stay in the game here.
So there must have been an error entering the fouls earlier in the game, perhaps.
A slight clerical error. So they'll talk about it down there.
There's a lot happening. We're trying to see. There's information coming from our left. There's the score bench in front of us. There's a whole bunch of things going on here, and
we do thank the officials for all they do over the course of the season.
Working
overtime and overtime.
That's exactly right.
Just what you want to be doing on your Saturday night.
Oh boy.
It is indeed a championship Saturday night here at Nunawading. Champ men coming up after this. It'll be McKinnon and Hume, but 29 seconds remaining. Bontempelli well back from the line this time, guarding Rachel Kerr on the inbound as they have another go at this. So Pascal made 1 of 2 from the line and cut the lead to 3, but importantly, no time went off the clock there.
Yeah, that's right.
It'll now be Wyndham again. So Connolly. Pascal wanted it to go the other way. Now Dolney from the next postcode was just a bit strong. The ball will go off a hand and stay with Bulleen. Or turn over to Bulleen, I beg your pardon. So it will indeed be Bulleen to inbound this. 16 on the clock.
Game in their hands now.
3-point game. You got to be brave here if you're Wyndham. You have to be brave. They'll get the ball through hands early. Kerr to chase down Baum. Baum will just try and dribble this ball out, and they'll throw the ball around to Dearborn. Dearborn's working and gets the foul call. A lot of time came off the clock there. 11 seconds came off it. But it will be Rach Kerr that gets her first of the night.
Yeah, a lot of time off the clock. It's
the important thing of that,
Dearborn to the line for 2.
11 seconds came off it. Dearborn, who's a 65% shooter on the season.
Yeah,
she's 1 of 5? No, that's a 3-point percentage. I'm looking at the wrong stat.
It's a
Dearborn at first. Makes it. Extends it to 4 for Bulleen with 5.7 on the clock, and you have to feel if she makes this second, it might be time to shut the gate, cut the check.
Making things very hard for Wyndham.
Gets it to go. No timeout for Wyndham. 5 on the clock. What can they do? 3 on it, 2 on it. 3-pointer from, that was Rach Kerr, couldn't get it to go. And Bulleen do the double. For the first time since 1999, Bulleen are senior women's champions of the Big V.
What a game. It's gone overtime. It almost felt like it was going to go to a second overtime there for a while. The Boomers were just too strong in the end for Wyndham. Great season from Wyndham. Here we go.
22-0 or 22-1.
21-1. But it is the one loss that matters the most for Wyndham. And the Boomers took them 4 times to beat Wyndham throughout the season. And again, they've done it in the one that matters in the last game of the season, in the grand final. Congratulations to coach Mason Rogers and the Bulleen Boomers.
You certainly have to tip your hat to Wyndham. What a great season it was. 21-0 in the regular season and able to sweep McKinnon last week in their first round. Come out here and, get tested by a great Bulleen outfit all night. Took it to overtime, and it was a great game in the end. A game fitting of a championship decider, and what an outstanding effort it was. Bulleen coming away with the victory. It was a 84-79 victory for Bulleen here. Stay with us, trophy presentations coming up, but on the behalf of Mitch Child and the entire Big V team, we thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
Back again at 8 o'clock for the championship men's decider, McKinnon and Hume. Until then, we'll see you next time. Bye for now.